Hey, could you guys just do that round of applause again for me, please? I know. So that, right there, what you just did, you just used your human noisemakers. Your hands are the perfect built-in percussive instrument. It's like banging on a pair of drums. Clapping. Clapping is a collective social gesture we use every day. It's a way for us to show approval, admiration, excitement for things that happen, especially on stage. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. Here I am, on stage. But why do you show your approval, your admiration, your excitement by clapping? In fact, why do we clap in the first place at all? This is the question that drove my research into this topic. Today, I will be sharing with you 3 things about clapping. First, the history of clapping. Second, why do we clap in the first place? And third, the future of clapping. So let's time travel back to the 6th century, all the way back to ancient Greece, when Cleisthenes the lawmaker took to the public reforms. He made it a civic duty for all citizens to applaud when their leader comes in. This is, of course, a way more efficient method of greeting everybody than individually going, hey, how are you going? How are you doing? Have you paid your taxes today? Now, of course, this is not the only example. If we fast forward to the 19th century, professional agencies allowed you to hire professional applauders or professional clappers. If you were an opera and you had a huge audience coming in for a new piece you just made, you can hire these professional applauders, plant them in the audience, and they would know exactly when to react and how to react. They would clap, cry, or laugh when appropriate, and the audience would follow in suite. Now, clapping is clearly a huge part of our society. It's the best way and the most noisy way for us to express our feelings without having to use our voices. But not only is it a social and cultural phenomenon, it's also biological. Think back to when you've seen a younger child, a baby that's around 5 or 6 months old, and you see them kind of playing with their limbs, and they realize, hey, if I hit these together, I can make noises. Clapping. Of course, parents have to teach them the association between clapping to happiness, celebration, and excitement. But that brings up the second point. Why do we clap in the first place? Why does this association between clapping and happiness persist throughout our lives and in the entire society? So to answer this question, think for a second, how do you clap? Now, more or less, we all clap the same way. Personally, I go right over left. It seems more efficient, 45-degree angle, and clasp them not firmly, but slightly gently together. Now, it would feel a bit weird to go left over right. I might have to do with like which hand is dominant. But there's also volume variations, right? There are the more reserved, restrained golf claps. Woohoo! Yeah. And then there's the loud, boisterous clapping we see at Toastmasters. Now, all these things considered, you might be thinking, clapping is such a crude and messy way to express how you feel. We have perfectly usable voices. Why not use them to make more minute changes in our noises? We still use clapping. Now, a professor from the University of Cambridge puts it this way. Clapping is the natural reaction from an overabundance or an overexcitation of energy that results in clapping. It all just comes out. It's a release of energy. Not only that, but it's also a way to urge people into being more part of the group, social cohesion. This probably sounds familiar. You've been sitting down, you're kind of paying attention, and then everyone starts clapping and you just, oh, okay, I guess it's time to clap. We just unconsciously do it. It's like a habit, kind of like a hive mind. The way I see it is if there's a performer on stage, you clap, it's kind of like you're giving them a pat on the back, but from like far away, over here, sitting in the seats. Another way to think about it is you're clapping, it's like high-fiving yourself over and over and over and over and over for something someone else is doing. But bottom line is, clapping is the easiest the loudest and most democratic way to share how you feel and show your approval for a performer. It makes sense. Not everyone can snap their fingers, and performers can't hear your thumbs up, and stomping your feet on the seats is really disruptive. It makes sense why clapping is a universal language across cultures, across the world. But that raises my third point. What is the future of clapping, and why should that matter to you? Think for a second, what is your favorite song? You might be playing a little snippet of it in your head right now. You've probably heard this song 10, 50, 100 times, 100 plus. But 150 years ago, or even earlier, there was no way for you to hear your favorite song more than 2 times, maybe 3 if you're lucky. You had to go physically to the concert hall, the orchestra, the symphony, to hear it being played right in front of you. Today, we have a personal symphony in the palms of our hands. We have the best audience, the most unique and least disruptive audience, an audience of just one. This phenomenon of more lonely and solitary activities is a term called cocooning. It was termed by an author named Faith Popcorn. It's quite a funny name. But she termed it cocooning, and you can see this in things like self-checkouts in the grocery store, using the internet on your own, finding funny videos, or even home entertainment systems, watching a concert in your own sofa. But what does cocooning have to do with clapping? Think for a second when you watch a funny video. It could be a cat falling over, or a person getting hit by something in the snow, or whatever you want. You don't watch the video and immediately start clapping and laughing. No, you kind of exhale slightly. You'll click the like button, or you'll click the share button, or the follow button, subscribe, comment, retweet. All of these things are a form of a digital applause. That's where we're going with clapping in the future, digital applause. And it's no different than a real life applause. When you're clapping, the sound of your clapping is kind of absorbed into the background, part of the huge collective group of people appreciating a performance. And that might be disheartening, but remember for a second, the reason why clapping has evolved to digital applause. It's a place for you to both be part of a group, like real life clapping, and also a place for you to stand out as your own identity, your internet profile, so to speak. So in closing, cocooning is a natural result of the modernization of our world. And digital applause is a direct result of this modernization. So remember, digital applause is kind of like something else that comes out of cocoon. Something beautiful, like a butterfly. So let your applauses, real life and digital, soar through the air like beautiful butterflies and resonate through time. Madam Toastmaster.